Karole Kurnow. Welcome to my studio. Today I want to talk about why cheater quilts aren't cheating. I just finished making this lap quilt for a friend who drives a tractor. I found the special tractor fabric at a quilt shop while on vacation in Erie, Pennsylvania. I didn't want to cut up the nice fabric, so I made what is called a cheater quilt. I don't really like the name cheater quilt, because it implies that the person making it is taking shortcuts. The only shortcut is that the top of the quilt isn't made up of blocks. It is usually just one or two fabrics. However, there are good reasons why a person might want to avoid cutting up the fabric into blocks. In this example, I wanted to showcase two different tractor fabrics. Cutting it up to make blocks would detract from the overall design. Whole cloth quilts could also be considered cheater quilts because they are not made up of blocks, but everyone understands that whole cloth quilts are made to showcase the decorative quilting stitches, not the fabrics. A simple pattern for the tractor quilt is as follows. Buy 2 yards of the fabric for the center of the quilt and buy 2.5 yards of the fabric for the border. I generally buy a little extra just in case. Cut off the selvages of the fabric for the center and make sure that the top and bottom edges are straight. Cut or tear the 2.5 yards of border fabric into strips that are 9.5 inches wide and 2.5 yards long. Cut one of these strips into 2 pieces that are 9.5 inches wide and 1.25 yards, about 45 inches long. Sew these shorter border pieces onto the top and bottom of the center fabric. Sew the long pieces onto the sides of the center fabric. Then layer the quilt, the batting, and the backing as usual, quilt as desired, and bind the edges. The cheater quilt still requires quilting and binding, which are often the hardest parts of making a quilt. Sewing the blocks is usually the fun part. Therefore, in my opinion, there is no cheating involved in making this quilt.